They lost hundreds of pounds on national TV, and then they gained it back. So, what went wrong? And what does this mean for you and your weight loss goals? You've probably watched The Biggest Loser back in the day and thought, if I just had someone pushing me like that, I could finally do it. But what if that's the exact reason why they, and maybe even you, regain the weight back? So if you're curious about the shocking truth about The Biggest Loser TV show and why so many contestants gained so much weight back, you might find this episode interesting. Because on average, the contestants regained 70% of the weight that they lost, and many of them gained back even more. And you might be in that same boat. You might be wondering, how on earth can I do the hard work and the blood, sweat, and tears to lose all of that weight, but then end up gaining it back so quickly? I'm Holly Bertone, former FBI Chief of Staff for Counterintelligence, now known as the Emotional Eating Profiler and Coach. And in this episode, I'm on a mission to investigate what the new Netflix documentary, Fit for TV, doesn't tell you about what's really going on behind the scenes of the Biggest Loser contestants who gain their weight back. You're going to get the top 3 commonalities that the majority of these contestants who gain the weight back have, so that you don't have to repeat those same patterns and make the same mistakes on your weight loss journey. Now, here's what you're not going to get. I'm not going to comment on how dangerous it is to eat 800 calories a day and how dangerous it is to do all those intense workouts all day long. I'm not even going to comment on how horrible it is to make fun of someone because of their weight. All things that they did on the show and all things that were actually discussed in the documentary. I am going to stay in my lane so that you can also investigate the Fit for TV documentary, how the show prioritized entertainment and transformation, all without any kind of sustainability factor. And they actually admitted that the contestants were chosen for dramatic potential, for just to expose their vulnerability. And here's the thing, even if you don't have that much weight to lose, if you're looking at, maybe 20 pounds or 50 pounds, even 70 pounds, 100 pounds, rather than, something as massive as 200 pounds, this is still going to apply. And I personally have had way too many of those, how did I gain all this weight back moments? And the worst one for me was when I turned 49 and I was a health coach who should know better, who should do better. And that's exactly why I wanted us to investigate this together, and especially what the show doesn't reveal. So what are those top 3 commonalities that the major of the contestants who gained the weight back had? What are they? What are those patterns? And how can you break free from your own patterns that are holding you back from sustainable weight loss? Number 1, they believed that their weight was going to happen because of an external source, like The Biggest Loser. So let's bring in Danny Cahill. He was season 8's winner. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that they said he was the biggest weight loss in the entire show's history, or maybe it was up until that point. So anyway, worst case, he was one of the biggest losers in Biggest Loser history. So in the Fit for TV documentary interview, Danny said that he tried 3 times to get on the show. So he tried 3 times, which meant he was waiting several years in between each one, or, several years total, I should say. He tried once and then tried again and tried again. So he's waiting several years for this TV show to fix his weight for him and giving all hope that he's going to get on the show. So while he's sitting around, while he's waiting for this TV show to pick him, to fix him, he's gaining more weight. Now, on the show, his weight loss, it was dramatic. It was insane. It was, what do they film? 6 or 7 months. He lost 239 pounds. He went from 430 pounds to 191 pounds. Again, this was one of, if not the most dramatic transformations on the show. And he said in the interview, he said on the Fit for TV interview, that it was easy to keep the weight off after the show because he just stayed in maintenance mode. But then he said, and I quote, "It was easy until it wasn't." So he maintained that weight loss for a few years. but then he regained over 100 pounds. Like 100 pounds just came back. So here's the thing that's important for you to remember is that if the solution comes from the outside, the sabotage is also going to come from the outside too. You see, people think that the hard part is losing weight. But when you outsource that process to anything, it doesn't even have to be a reality TV show. It can be a boot camp or a diet, any kind of diet, even a nutritionist. You are borrowing someone else's GPS. And here's the thing. You've got that GPS, it runs on Wi-Fi. So the second you lose that Wi-Fi and the second that signal drops, you're done, you're lost. You are relying on someone else's directions. Like you never actually learned the route. So the easiest part is losing the weight. The hardest part is making this an effortless part of your lifestyle so that you can sustain it. When you hand your power over to someone else, don't be surprised when they don't take ownership of it. Because it was never theirs to begin with. It's always been yours. It's like that game of hot potato. You're tossing around that hot potato to someone else and they're like, I don't want it. It's a hot potato. It's yours. Take it back. This is called external authority syndrome. And it's when you are waiting to be chosen. You are waiting to be rescued. You are waiting for that permission. Danny waited several years to get on the show. And what happened in that gap? He gained weight and he gained more weight because he was waiting for someone to save him. This is the exact same pattern as I'll start after the holidays, or I'm just waiting for work to slow down, or I've got this vacation coming up. I want to enjoy it. I deserve it. I'm going to wait till after vacation. And really, all this is, it's just a delay tactic. It's just a lame excuse. And oh, by the way, my students inside the Break Emotional Eating Accelerator and my private clients, they all make a commitment from day one, that this is their personal responsibility. There is no outsourcing. There's no because Holly said so. They are learning these skills from that internal perspective because I want them to be successful when I'm not around. I'm not in their pocket 24/7. I want them to be successful every single second of the day. Number 2, they believe that they need to lose weight to fix their life. Now, one of the contestants said, and I can't remember which one, it was one of the women, and she said, I needed to lose the weight to fix me, to fix my marriage and my relationship with my kids. And you may have thought something similar on your weight loss journey, that you need to lose the weight first before you can be happy, or before you can feel confident, or before you can fix your marriage, or before you can get that promotion at work. And here's why this is backwards thinking. You don't lose weight to fix your life. You fix your life so your body isn't forced to carry this burden of all of this extra emotional weight. And that emotional weight, those emotional burdens that we carry, they are from years and from decades of feeling like we aren't good enough, or maybe even from some adverse childhood event or some early adult adverse event. Is it even logical to think that a number on a scale is going to fight off those monsters overnight? This is the emotional weight transfer effect. This is when you lose the physical weight, but that emotional weight still runs the show. And when I say run the show, I'm talking about it is going to sabotage any kind of progress. It is going to convince you that it's not going to work and you aren't good enough. And it is going to convince you that you have to punish yourself when it doesn't work. Do you remember the Little Shop of Horrors? And you remember that plant thing? And it was like, feed me, Seymour. Right? You think your food cravings are bad? That emotional weight, those cravings from that emotional weight, that is insatiable. That's the feed me, Seymour. All right, so let's go back to the theme of internal versus external. that we just talked about with number one. So let's say that your why, let's say it's externally motivated. I want them to love me more, or I want to prove that I'm worthy. Do you think that losing a few pounds is really going to fix this? Or do you think that you're always going to be chasing that validation? I mean, think about it. It's like, okay, it's like if you wanted that Lululemon crossbody, the crossbody bag, because you think it's cool, you think people are going to like you better. You think I'm going to be accepted when I have that super cool Lululemon crossbody bag. Or, maybe your teenage daughter thinks that, you know. But then you spend the money on it, you wear it, but nothing has changed. True transformation has to come from within first, which is why it is so easy to give up on diet after diet after diet, because that diet does absolutely nothing for what you really need to give up. It's not just the junk food. It is that constant need for external validation. Okay, so we've got someone else who's calling the shots, and also now the emotional weight is calling the shots. So number 3, they cling to the identity of someone who is overweight. Now, I respectfully disagree with Bob Harper when he said that if you're someone who has gained and lost and gained weight your entire life, that it is impossible to get that monkey off of your back. He said, you are going to carry that with you for the rest of your life. Bob Harper, with all due respect, this advice can kiss my grits. You are not sentenced to be overweight for the rest of your life. And I mean, look at the countless men and women who have figured it out, how to lose weight, how to keep it off their entire lives. I'm living proof. I carried around those food monsters for decades, and now they are completely gone. It's what I help my clients with. It's what I help my students in my program too. Is it going to be hard work? Of course. There's no sugarcoating it. If someone ever tries to tell you it's going to be easy, run for the hills. Now, it's my understanding, and again, just correct me if I'm wrong, but when I watched The Biggest Loser, they only focused on the extreme exercise and the calorie restriction to lose the weight, which, again, in and of itself, it's not safe, it's not sustainable. And I told you I am not going down that path. I am going to stay in my lane, right? But from what I understand, they never worked with the contestants on, what's going on in their heads, or at least they never showed it. They never worked with the contestants on any kind of psychology, any kind of neuroplasticity. They never work with the contestants on how to change their identity to make weight loss sustainable, to make it an effortless part of their lifestyle. They never worked with the contestants on how to change their identity to become that healthy person who makes it a part of their lifestyle. There was a 2011 study done from the National Weight Control Registry, and they found that over 50% of long-term weight loss maintainers, they had to completely overhaul their identity and their habits. So not just the eating plans, not just the diet, not just what they ate, their entire identity and habits to sustain that weight loss. And those who only focused on the weight, they only focused on the eating plan. They did not focus on their identity and habits. They gained the weight back in 2 to 5 years. Now, the same concept is also true with people who win the lottery. The Certified Financial Planner Board of Standards reports nearly 1/3 of lottery winners eventually declare bankruptcy within 3 to 5 years. Again, they go from being, multimillionaire lottery winners to actually declaring bankruptcy. And this is significantly higher than the average American. So how on earth, like that's just a crazy concept to think about it. How on earth could so many people get a windfall of millions and millions of dollars and then just end up being broke? Well, it's because they never built that internal foundation to hold abundance and wealth. They never learned to be good stewards of their money. And they never learned the difference between money and wealth. There is a huge difference. And it's the exact same with weight loss. Because just like there is a huge difference between money and wealth, there's a huge difference between the pounds that you want to lose and your health. You see, most people think it is only about weight loss. I just have to lose the weight. They don't think about their health long term. They don't think about, how do I make this effortless? How do I make this sustainable? They don't think about creating any kind of internal foundation of stability so that it doesn't collapse like a house of cards. I mean, honestly, Bob Harper's advice, it's kind of sad because he believes that you're just destined to be overweight, that you can't outgrow the story that you keep telling yourself. What I learned personally, what I help my students and my clients do, you either get to tame the dragon, T-A-M-E, or you get to train the dragon, T-R-A-I-N. We tame the dragon or we train the dragon. And we do this with the brain science of neuroplasticity. This is the exact same method that you would use to potty train a puppy. If you've ever potty trained a puppy, you can do this to your own brain. This is when you actually, you upgrade your identity. You stop being the victim, you stop focusing on the scale, and you become the kind of woman who finishes what she starts. If you want the external weight to stick, you have to fix those internal systems first. So those are top 3 commonalities that the contestants shared who gained the weight back. And hopefully you were able to take a step back to identify which one or more of these patterns that you've been seeing in your own life. Which one of these patterns or more of these patterns that have been holding you back from sustainable weight loss. So you've got number 1, they believed that their weight loss was going to happen because of an external source. Number 2, they believed that they needed to lose weight to fix their life. And then number 3, they cling to this identity of someone who is overweight. Let me know in the comments, which one of these really gave you that gut check? Or hit me up on Instagram at holly.bertone and say hello there and let me know, because I always love a chance to cheer for your success. So thanks for tuning in. I'm Holly Bertone, your emotional eating profiler and coach, and this is Weight Loss Forensics.